Hello, it's Simon Zutshi here, and in this video, I like to explain what I believe buy-to-let is the worst property strategy. Now, let me just caveat that. I'm talking about right now in the current property market. In the past, buy-to-let, single-let properties have been a really good investment, and that's why 82% of landlords just own single-let, buy-to-let properties. However, with the recent changes in the property market, which I can explain in this video, I don't think buy-to-let properties are a good investment. In fact, most of them just don't make money, so I don't believe you should be doing it right now. So I'm also going to explore what are some of the alternatives you can do instead of buy-to-let property. Now, I've been investing in property since 1995. I became an HMO landlord in 1998. For 25 years, I've had an HMO property, and most of my properties for the first 10 years of my property investing were single let properties. And that's very simply because that's all I really knew. It was what made a lot of sense to me at the time. And those properties have done very well. And as I said in the past, single let properties have made money for lots of people. But there are two major factors, which means that right now, for most people, single let properties are not the best investment strategy. So, of course, the first one is in 2022, we saw the interest rates go up. The Bank of England base rate went from 0.5% up to over 4% currently as I record this video. What that means is many people for the last decade who've had buy-to-let, single-let properties have been making really good cash flow on their properties, not because they've been great deals, but only because the Bank of England base rate has been so low. So the mortgage payments were very low, the cash flow was pretty good, and they'd make a good profit every single month, maybe £100 to £200 for a normal single-let property. Now, that's okay. However, with the interest rates going up, much of that profit has been eroded away, so that many landlords who have variable mortgages right now are in the situation where the interest payment on their mortgage is actually more than the rental income coming in every month. So they're either just breaking even or they're even negative. Now, that in itself is not a good situation. But to compound on that is the effect of Section 24. Now, Section 24 came into place in April 2017. It was phased over 4 years. And it wasn't really until 2022, 23 that many landlords have felt the full effect of Section 24. And what it means is if you own a property in your own name, which historically most of the 2 million landlords in the UK used to own property in their own name, and if you have mortgages, which the vast majority of landlords do, and if you're a higher rate taxpayer, which not all but many property investors are, it means you pay a lot more tax on the rental income from your property. So consider the person who might have a number of single let properties in their own name. They've got mortgages and they're a higher rate taxpayer. For the last decade, they've had very low interest rates. They might have been on variable rates. And those investors left them on a variable rate because the interest rate was so low. And now some of those people saw the interest rates coming up in 2022 and maybe remortgaged onto fixed rate mortgages. If you've got a fixed rate mortgage, the interest rate rises are not a problem until, of course, you come to the end of that mortgage term. We were telling people in our community back in April 2022 that we thought interest rates were going to go up, and we recommended people seriously speak to their brokers and look at fixing the rates. And many of our clients who did that are very, very happy now. But a lot of people are not in our community. They didn't know about this, and they've allowed these variable rates to go up and up and up. Now, they went up gradually until we had that disastrous budget. I think it was in October 2022. The Liz Trust had a budget that was very badly received, and the interest rates shot up suddenly, and they've crept up ever since then as well. So what this means is that many people who were on very low variable mortgages right now, they are paying a very high interest rate on their mortgage, much more than they have ever before. So that profit has been decreased. Now, the important thing is that because of Section 24, the taxman calculate profit in a different way. Prior to Section 24, they'd look at the rental income, less all the expenses, including the interest, and you can offset those expenses to reduce down the amount of profit, and you pay tax on your profit. What Section 24 does is it means, well, you can't count all of the interest cost in your expenses. So what that means is you might have a property that is actually giving you no cash flow at all because the interest rate is as high as the rent that's coming in, but you can't count that interest rate when you calculate tax. What that means is you've got properties that are making no cash at all, but on paper, they're making a profit. What that means is at the end of the tax year, the tax man is going to want their tax on that phantom profit. So not only are properties not making money, even sometimes losing money, to add insult to injury, at the end of the tax year, those property investors who have those properties are going to have to reach into their pocket and pay some more money to the tax man. Now, for this reason, many, many more landlords, more than ever before, are considering selling up. After all, they've had really great capital growth over the last 12 years or so, and they're thinking, you know what, with this taxation, increased legislation, should I really hold these properties, or maybe it is time to sell up and go do something else with my money? So that's why we're seeing more and more properties come to the market. Now, the big problem is for anyone who's wanted to get into property investing, and many people think, well, I'm going to do single let, buy to let properties first because they're the easiest strategy. And I agree, they are the easiest strategy. They're looking at properties, they're putting offers in, the offers are being accepted, they're trying to get the mortgages, and they're failing to get the mortgages because the interest is so high, and in particular, the affordability stress tests are so high that the rental income is not stacking up. The properties are not making money. So a lot of people are being knocked back on their mortgages and can't buy these properties. So that's not good for the property market. It means property prices are going to keep coming down. But also, it means people are getting frustrated because although they want to buy properties, they just don't stack up. They can't get the finance. So if you're looking to do single let properties, normal buy to let, I don't think it works right now, which is why I think it's probably one of the worst strategies you could be doing. Now, there is good news, though. The good news is, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of these landlords looking to sell up, they want to get out. In the last couple of years, the price has been booming unexpectedly during COVID, but now property prices are coming down in 2023. Some people think there's going to be a property market crash in 2023. I don't think that will happen. I don't think it's going to be as bad as the last market crash back in 2008, but prices are coming down. But here's the really important point. There are many landlords who've got properties they want to sell now who were investing back in 1998. They remember the last crash, and they might be fearful that the property market could crash as much as it did back in 2008. And I think that's what a lot of landlords think could happen. What that means is they might be open and flexible to negotiate a good discount on their property right now so they can sell that property now. And by the way, they're going to sell it for a lot more money than they bought it for. So they're still making a really good profit, but it means they can get out, cash in, take their profit off the table before property prices come down too far. So there's going to be some great opportunities to pick up these properties from landlords who are selling up. But why would we want to do that? If we're just using the property as a single let, surely it's not going to work. Well, what we can do, we can take a property that a landlord has been using a single let, which the vast majority of landlords do, and we can use it in a different way. So there are two strategies that I think are perfect for the current property market. They're perfect because they're both recession proof. They're perfect because they both give really good cash flow, and they're perfect because there's a high demand for accommodation in these two sectors. So what are these two strategies perfect right now? They are houses of multiple occupation and also serviced accommodation. Now, I'm going to do another video in a week or two talking about this, comparing the two of them, saying which is best. And there's pros and cons for both, but you need to understand what's happening to HMOs and also to the world of SA, because regulation is coming to the world of SA. So look out for the video in a couple of weeks where I'm going to compare the two, HMOs and SA, which is the best. But just for now, let me mention the reason they're good is because, first of all, in this time of economic crisis and recession, money is tight for many people. So instead of people living on their own in an apartment where they're going to pay the rent and also the bills, many people are moving into shared houses, shared accommodation, such as HMOs, where they just pay one bill, the rent, and that includes the rent and also all the bills. Now, it's good for the landlord because we have lots of tenants paying us this higher rent, and means even though we're paying the bills, we still get a very healthy cash flow, at least £1,000 profit per month. But this means it's more cost effective for these tenants who want to save money. So in a declining market, the demand for shared accommodation goes up. However, my caveat here is, please, if you're going to do HMOs, do not do average vanilla HMOs like everyone else. They need to be very high-end co-living HMOs that command a better rent, attract a more discerning client who's prepared to pay that higher rent and wants to stay in that property long term. So when you do co-living, you're having a higher rent and a lower void period as well. So co-living, high-end HMOs is definitely a great strategy. Also, when you think about service accommodation, this is where people come and stay short term. They might be working, they might be on holiday, they might be visiting family or friends, and they don't really want to stay in a hotel because hotels are really expensive right now. And more people are holidaying in the UK because it's very expensive to do international flights, and international hotels are also very expensive right now. So again, with people cutting back a little bit because of the recession, I think middle-class families who might historically have gone on 2 or 3 overseas holidays every year, I think they might just do maybe 1 holiday a year and maybe a couple of long breaks in the UK. They're far more cost effective than going away, but people still want to get away. They still want to have some holiday, and going into a service accommodation unit makes a lot of sense. So there's high demand. We have these staycation, high demand for that, high demand for HMOs. They're really good strategies. They're both very profitable. A good service accommodation should make you at least £1,000 profit a month. So there's high demand. They're very profitable, and also they are the recession proof because these are things people do in times of recession. So in summary, I don't think single let properties are a good investment at all for you to be doing. There are much better strategies such as HMOs and service accommodation. Now, they are more advanced. They are more complex than single let properties. I would definitely agree. That's why you need to get educated. You need to know how to do things properly because you don't want to make expensive mistakes because you're trying to work out everything yourself. So stay tuned to this YouTube channel. There's lots of free information here to give you a lot of insight into how you can use these 2 very profitable strategies with your property investing. I do hope this has been useful for you. If you've liked this, please hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel and hit the bell icon to make sure you're notified whenever a new video comes out. If you've got any questions or comments, please put them below and I'll come and answer as many as I possibly can. As ever, I'm going to encourage you to invest with knowledge, invest with skill. Look out for more videos on this channel all about these high cash flow strategies. I'm going to put quite a lot on over the next few weeks, so do look out for those, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. I do hope you got massive value from watching this YouTube video. I'd encourage you to click on the link below to come and do the online training with me. And I've got another video lined up for you, which I think is also going to be really useful that you should watch once you've registered for the online training with me. So invest with knowledge, invest with skill. I'll see you very soon.